Oh God. Hi everyone, welcome to another week of Cashflow Mondays. My name is Courtney-Ann. I am a 22-year-old entrepreneur living in the sweet island of Jamaica. And Cashflow Mondays is basically about financial literacy and financial independence. We talk about stuff like budgeting, saving, economic downfalls and uptrends, and how you can improve your financial status and improve your life. Now, before I get into the video, I do want to put it out there, as I always do, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a beautiful young woman on the internet. So I just share what I know, and hopefully you can help me out too and share what you know down below in the comment section. So if you're into anything like that, you can always subscribe, and we do post weekly updates every single Monday about financial discussions and stuff like that. So this week I'm actually going to be talking about how I am able to save $120,000 at the age of 22 years old per month. All right, so let's get started. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, I do have a video on different passive income ideas, and I do have another video about 10 online jobs that no one talks about. So you might want to view these videos after, or I don't know if you want to pause, go hop over and then come back. We're not really sure, but I say this to say, guys, I've always spoken about the importance of having more than one stream of income, especially right now with the pending recession. You never know what job or what industry will take a hit, and so it's always important to have extra money coming in from different directions. I'll give you a prime example. Right now, my stock portfolio is an absolute mess. So it's very important to always have multiple streams of income, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are, it doesn't matter if it's in the 10,000s or the 100,000s. As we say in Jamaica, every mickle make a muckle. Understand? So we spoke about multiple streams of income. Now I'm going to talk about how you can allocate these different types of income based on your lifestyle. So for me, I'm pretty young. I don't have any kids. I live alone. So what I do is I take my most minimal stream of income and actually use that to take care of my immediate expenses, being water, food, electricity, traveling expenses if I need to go to and from in my country, and also some other miscellaneous expenses. So we're going to be bringing up my budget on the screen shortly, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. So that is basically my formula for my life and how I'm able to really save that much money. My electricity bill is probably like 2,500 JMD. So, you know, I really don't pay much. So what I do is I do that, and then I do have a stock portfolio, and that will not be included in the budget, by the way. I just want to put that out there. So whatever figure you might be seeing on the budget, that would not be the final or entire figure. In addition to that, you might want to have a separate bank account. For those of you who aren't as disciplined in seeing all that money in one place, you might want to have a separate bank account, kind of just to transfer your savings to one, and then use another bank account for your immediate expenses and your immediate transactions. So, you know, that works. All right, so now we're going to get into the budget. So what I do, and you can write it down if you want to, but I'm big on the environment, and I'm big on saving the trees. So I try to keep everything as digital as possible. I'm gonna have my iPad here on deck as per usual. However, you will be seeing the budget on your screen shortly. So this is actually for the month of March 2020. As you can see, I have expenses like light. For those of you who aren't Jamaican, Digicel is actually a telecommunications company. So they're the persons responsible for my Wi-Fi. They're the persons responsible for my cable and my home phone. I do have insurance, and we will be talking about that in a separate video, the importance of having insurance and the importance of starting your insurance policies at a young age. However, let's move on. Next, I have the gym. That's currently on pause right now, simply because of the whole, you know, don't want to say the word, but this whole pandemic going around. Social distancing is of paramount importance right now. So the gyms are closed. Frankly, I went down there and there was a whole chain on the door and whatever. So that situation is just on pause right now. Usually in every budget, I always advise persons to list savings as an expense. And I say this to say because I think it's a lot easier once you count it as an expense. You're not really tempted to spend that money. So for example, if I have a budget of, well, here I have a total of $66,495. Usually that is the money I have in total of expenses. So I don't really want to spend what I've already spent, if you know what I mean. It's kind of a mental thing. So you want to withdraw your savings. A lot of persons, when they get their paycheck, the first thing they do is find things to spend it on. Please always factor in a percentage to save. I remember saying this in my previous video also about having stuff that you can do during a recession, and I did mention cutting back and saving more. So what I have here on my budget is I always try to save 10% of my income. Now, obviously the 10% is going to be coming out of where you see income JMD, and this is, as I said, the most minimal income that I have. I have a separate income here in US dollars, which is about $1,300 per month. Not really gonna put it out there where I get that from. I don't really want to put my social life out there like that, or my business life, for security purposes, of course. Income JMD, we have US dollars, and then usually what you're seeing here is a variance, and that is the money I have left after withdrawing my expenses. If you're interested in the formula, I can always comment below and show you what I do. Basically, the total figure of expenditures is subtracted from that figure where you see income JMD, and that is the figure you're seeing there as a variance. That does not include my US dollar income. Let me put it out there again. It does not include that money, and it also does not include the money from my stock portfolio or the valuation of my stock portfolio. So variance is there. So this is the money I have left after withdrawing from my JMD income, and after that you notice the US dollar income. Now, when I said I was able to save $120,000, this is what I'm talking about, because this money is completely untouched. It's not spent in any way, shape, or form. And if I do have to do an online transaction in US dollars, I always try my best to put it back. That's very, very important. It's kind of weird when you're interchanging from currency to currency, especially if you have to do certain transactions. However, I just want to know at the end of the day whether a portion of it is in JMD or all of it is still in USD. I still want to ensure that that money has been saved. Now, I do have this in a separate bank account. I used to be a J1 work and travel student, so I do have an American bank account, which makes it a lot easier to save. It's much better, especially if you don't have much discipline in terms of touching the money. If I do need US dollars, I have to go all the way into town just to find a US ATM. So, you know, you don't really want to go through all that stress. So most times we just don't spend it at all. Let's get into the details of the budget now. I have, again, light, Digicel, insurance, gym, save 10%, food, beauty, miscellaneous. I'm having dentist here on my iPad. I'm not sure if dentist is on the one on the screen. However, stuff like miscellaneous, I usually leave a portion of that too. And if you haven't had any emergency expenses for the month, this can actually still be saved, you know, because miscellaneous is really like an emergency fund for me in case I have like a pop-up expense that month. I kind of fraction that money to work with. I do have asthma, so sometimes I may need to go to the doctor. I may need to get some pills here and there, or some inhalers, and of course I have beauty. Now, again, in my previous videos when I spoke about tips on how to prepare for a recession, if you're hearing a bird, I sincerely apologize. I have no idea where he's from. So I actually cut back on my beauty, my money allocated for beauty. Usually it's $10,000. I've cut it back to $8,000, simply because I will be going to the hairdresser less. especially because of social distancing. And I also will be doing my nails less frequently. I think this is a great way where we can start cutting back in our budget. I mean, we'll be home for most of the time. We're not going out, so I really don't see the purpose of being glammed up every single day. For food, that's non-negotiable. I try my best to always shop wholesale and not supermarket. I think no one really tells you this when you're growing up, but I used to observe, and I noticed my dad always did that, and that was much cheaper than actually buying a bunch of stuff in the supermarket at a retail price and actually going to the wholesale and buying it at a wholesale price. So next we have Digicel. Let's look at Digicel. So it depends on your lifestyle. For me personally, I have to have cable. I have to have Wi-Fi. Usually I watch Netflix also, but I think the cable is more convenient in case you just want to watch something random. Most importantly, I have to have my house phone. I do make a lot of business calls on that thing, so it's pretty important there. For my light, a lot of persons may be wondering why my light bill or my electricity bill is actually so cheap. But then again, you know, I work from home, and when I'm working, I don't have the TV running, I don't have the computer running. I'm usually just in my home office on my laptop minding my business, and I think the only other appliance from that would be plugged in is the refrigerator. So yeah, it's super cheap. But yeah, this is what my budget looks like. Again, I highly recommend. It does not matter how young you are, please look into the importance of having multiple streams of income. This is how you stay on top of things. This is how you stay ready for unexpected circumstances. I mean, a recession is coming. You always want to be prepared. You never know what income might take a hit. And that doesn't mean you have to take several steps back. It doesn't mean that you're going to go back broke. And this is why we want money coming in from all different types of direction. If you follow me on Instagram, usually I post tips here and there. If I see a post financial related, I always try and share it. I'm considering to start a newsletter. You guys can let me know how you'd feel about that in the comment section below. But basically, it would be like a more detailed version of Cashflow Mondays, and I'll probably do that bi-weekly. So if you're interested in that, let me know below. That is the end of how I'm able to save $120,000 in income. And again, that figure is not set in stone because it did not involve my stock portfolio. I'm pretty young, and I do have a bunch more ideas I want to execute this year and in the future, and so I'm really hoping to increase that figure by 50% at least. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but hey, I'm very determined. Also trying to get this channel to 100 subscribers by the end of this month. I really love doing these videos for you, so I think if you're interested in these videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. That would do me a great deal. That is the end though. I don't think I didn't cover anything that was on. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. I do have a lot more topics coming your way. Mostly it's going to be centered around the pandemic and how you can maybe brace for that financially, and I'm going to be talking about other streams of income as well that you can look into. I might not be doing them myself, but I do know persons that do them, and they're pretty interesting. All right, so I'll talk to you next week. Stay safe, stay quarantined. Have a good day. Bye.